Well, good evening, everybody. It makes a nice change for a lot of us to have our Monday session in the afternoon evening. As I did mention before, we are always looking at different options, but sometimes we're also just prioritizing what's important. And I think it's been a good long while since we've had an open discussion, just as where we are, where we're finding things. Some of these discussions took place before the big change, before Mama Bear stepped into her role. And I think if you look at all that's happened and all that's taken place in just those 3 to 4 months, let's put it what it is, there hasn't been a chance to fully connect with everybody. So that's the purpose behind tonight's session is again, we say that this is a safe place for team leaders. That is why we keep it a team leader session, because here is a space for us to chat about things that apply to us in our business, whether it's strategy, whether it's challenges, whatever it is. And we always know that many heads come up with way better solutions than just a quick decision. And so the hope for tonight's session is obviously to really encourage everybody to give their feedback. Now is the lay it on your heart, say what you need to say. I mean, obviously, you've got your feelings, you know where you're coming from. Let's be mindful of everything, but we need feedback. You want to give feedback. Let's start those conversations again. Some of these conversations were passage talk for us in the good times where we got together so often. So let's just replicate that and make it virtual. And so before we get into tonight's session, I just want to remind you that this is the week of Pink Power. We've got our dedicated themes for the month. We've got our drive, our community. We've got our focus. And so for tonight, I want you to step into your power and own the part that you play in this business, because this business is for all of us. Every single one of us that contribute to this business and that rely on this business have a voice. And this platform is to share that voice. And before we get into our questions, I'm going to hand you over to Corné for any other opening comments.
Yeah, I think Pink Power is very, I think very close to everyone. We had a lot of chats about this over the last couple of days. Um, um, is the fact that every one of us is touched by cancer in one way or the other. It's not an aunt of a friend of somebody that used to stay next door to you 10 years ago kind of a thing. So I think just tomorrow is we are going to go out in our pink. And we are having one of our own staff members that goes in tomorrow for a C-section, and it's one of our downstairs warehouse staff. And she wanted to very much stay under the radar. She just wanted to keep it for herself and was very quiet about it. But obviously, we sniffed it out because she has to put in a leave form. And we did a care pack to her. And actually, to be honest with you, the face and the tears when she just saw. Now, we didn't do it a public display thing because we figured out she wants to keep it quiet. And it was just that she really felt valued to be loved. And I think that is what Pink Power is about, is just taking care of our community. So I will keep you up to date about that. But it seems that her cancer is very like localized. It seems that the doctors feel if they do I'm not the C-section, well, no, for mine. What's the other thing? The hysterectomy. Oh my word. You see, my brain is still somewhere in the cloud. That they're very confident that will remove all the cancer that she is facing at this stage. So yeah, Pink Power. And let's just spread that community wherever we go.
I think that is such a powerful, but also such an unsettling fact. I think, that as I get older, I keep asking my mom, is it when you get older that it seems that more people get sick? Or are more people just getting sick? And that's the reality, is we should never take for granted the many blessings that we have. And our health is one of them. The fact that we are able-bodied, that we can run a business, that we can influence other people. Sometimes it is about going back to that simplicity and the humbleness that comes from that. I think if there's any feeling anyone in this chat knows, it is that feeling of being loved. And it's at the point where you just need that little bit of love and that little bit of care. And I remember doing that for members of my team just by simply checking in. And so in the chaos and the rush and the pressure of everything, let's always remember the power behind this business is because we care. It's because we want to help other people. That was always the name of the game. And so with that little opening message, we are going to move straight into our open discussion. So we're not, I attended a session this morning where they said you can either volunteer or be chosen. So I said, so basically you're saying there's no out here. But that's not the case. We want to have a discussion. And I think We can start it if anybody wants to go first. I think the easiest thing would be everyone's mute is in their control. So just be mindful that if you are unmuted and you are in a noisy area, we can hear it. But it's just so that if you would like to say something, we would encourage you to do it over a voice, even if your video is not on, and just to chat about it. So we posted this in the group this morning to just give you some time to also think and reflect and take the time we often miss out on because we're so busy in the doing. And so we asked you 3 questions. The first one was your current reality. As you see yourself today, sitting here in your business, what are your biggest pain points or frustrations right now when it comes to growing or managing your business? I think sometimes we need to air these things and we need to collaborate and we need to find solutions because within us sits years and years of knowledge and experience. And this is not the first time we've felt certain things. Oh, Farida, I'm not sure if you are chatting or okay. I think maybe she was not on mute for the wrong reason. Sorry about that. Let me just go. Oh gosh, and now of course I've lost my whole presentation. Okay, cool. And the second one was support needs. Where do you feel you need the most support, guidance, or resources to move forward with confidence? It's different for all of us. It's different. We run different businesses. We have different leadership styles, and that's the best part. But when we truly know what is operating in our teams and where we are feeling stuck, that's where we know we need to evolve. The hardest lesson I've learned in the business is that sometimes your biggest frustration or pain point is your biggest lesson to learn. And the quicker you adopt the learning style instead of the pushing away style, the sooner you'll overcome whatever challenge you're facing. And then the third question was a future vision question, which sometimes we need to look that far because again, I say we are not here in building a business that serves us 1 month on and 1 month off. We still run a legacy business. For those of us that have been in this company for the longest time, we already have legacy. For those of us that have joined more recently, you are creating your legacy. So this business is something we want to grow for years to come. And that's why we have to look ahead to the future. So when you think about the future of your business, what do you see? And what steps do you believe you need to take to help you get there? So it doesn't matter which question you want to answer. It doesn't matter how you want to start. But I would really love for anyone to give us an answer for something here.
Evening, everybody. It's Feroza from PMB.
Awesome, Feroza. How are you?
Good. Can't complain. Actually, very good. I won a prize today. So
yeah. I see so. Congratulations.
Thank you. So I'll go first. I'll go in order if it's okay, right?
Awesome.
So my current reality is now struggling to get to 50,000 sales a month, where last year that wasn't a problem. And for me, working with registered consultants who are not active. So that's another problem.
Okay.
So that's my current reality. That's what I'm struggling with at the moment.
Okay.
I'm not going to go too much into detail.
No, that's fine.
But that's it for now. For number 2, the support I need. After Saturday's KZN function, it occurred to me maybe we're lacking in our practical knowledge of our products. You know, like if Candice does a little training session on what PU is and what say, for example, she once mentioned guess what their products are made of. And it was quite a surprising fact. Now we don't have that knowledge. So I think that gives us that lack of confidence in that aspect. We know the base are made up of the fact that we use PU and not leather and those sort of things, but maybe a little bit more in-depth knowledge for team leaders to have the confidence to sell their products.
Cool.
And a little bit of training with, you were saying onboarding, and you were saying somebody was the best. I can't remember who it was. Whatever the case, whoever it was, if we could maybe get that training to us, down to the team leaders again, especially for myself personally who joined during COVID, I don't feel I had the in-depth training a team leader requires.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you for that feedback.
And then future planning to get back to 50,000 without question, and hopefully 100,000 eventually. And not to be sitting in my office and expecting it to fall in my lap would be definitely plans to get out of the office more, to interact with people more. That's my plans. My immediate plans are that. And then, of course, going after that, getting to the 50,000 and further. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you for being brave and going first. And thank you for some really good feedback. I think, we can say we do a lot of training and we can say there's a lot of resources, but if it's not clear to us where we can find what we need, and if it's not easy enough to share with our consultants, then that's something we can look into. So thank you. That's absolutely wonderful feedback. I think, the reality is in terms of sales and inactivity, they're completely linked together. And so what this gives me insight into is, again, practical tools to overcome that inactivity, because there are some things that we used to do in the past that still work, but there are some new things that we have to get behind. And again, we talk about the know your numbers. Again, we talk about the consistency, but like you say, it's about building the practical tools. And I think if you get onboarding right, if your onboarding process is firm, and if you've got your 7-day plan that includes a starting challenge for someone, you're tackling your inactivity immediately, and you're also tackling your sales as well. So I think from that feedback, I would say for me, priority is to just release that onboarding training again, maybe beef it up with a couple of tools that are ready to go and generic enough for the business, but then also give you the formula. Because I always say, if you want to be, your own brand, if you want to be your own person, then add a couple of things into it. But again, whoever joined your team this week should have the exact same experience as someone who's going to join next week. So thank you, Feroza. That was hugely, hugely helpful. Corné, is there anything you want to add on that point? Or do you open it up to the next person?
I think what Feroza says there is so true, is a little bit of that practical knowledge. I think, we often would speak about something as silly as, because I picked on some of your presentation slides for Saturday for KZN. And then we just stopped a little bit at the follow-up. And one of the things that I shared is how to use your client card to follow up. And yet there was, I don't know, I can't remember if I asked who uses client cards or whatever, but I think there was nearly nobody. Maybe there was literally nobody in the room of 80 people that has ever done a client card. And yet one of our training sessions that's on the website right now for a sales consultant is how to use a client card. But I think that is exactly what Feroza is saying. It's those practical things that we need to do. And we have to, I think, first of all, not only know that they are needed, you need to practice them yourself until you are familiar, because only then you can teach them.
Absolutely. We are on a train the trainer aspect here. That's how it works the best.
Yeah, and I think definitely what our vision is for tonight is to really find out exactly what it is that you need. Because the last thing Taryn and I want to do is storm ahead blindly and then thinking we've got the pack behind us. But I do believe that onboard training was the one thing that we... Oh, no. Taryn, I lied to you. I had this conversation with you in my head the other day.
Oh, nice. Nice to hear it for the first time now.
Yes, you hear it now for the first time. And actually what I was thinking is you should do your onboard training the way you do it. I should do mine. And we should find out who else is good at that. And I'm thinking Madonna could be very good at that. And then whichever team leader wants to put up their hands. And we do our little training session. We record it. We post it out. And you can sit one Saturday when the men are playing, watching rugby, soccer, or whatever Formula One it is that pulls their fancy. And you can see which onboarding method works for you. That's what I had in my mind. Okay.
I like that. I like that, because that's the reality. It's the process and the formula, but how it looks can be very different. And again, it's got to fit into your reality and what you are comfortable with.
Yeah.
So I've got that down as a task to do. Thank you very much. All right. Anybody else want to share something? And again, it doesn't have to be an answer to all 3 questions. It can be one of the ones that you want to speak about. It's dedicated time tonight. I think let's make the most of it. We've still got a lot of time left for the session. What is your current reality? Where are you at? What is frustrating you? What is it, whether it's in your control or out of your control? I think that's the most important thing.
Can I go, please?
Support. Who have we got here? Nicole, I think.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Okay, so my current reality, and it frustrates the living daylights out of me month in and month out, is I will put, like I did now with the 19 days, etc., with my team, and I have a total of 5 out of 54 who kind of have joined my team. Yes, I know you're all going to say to me, well, Nicole, you've got 5 who are eager. How do I get the other 49 of them eager beavers as well? Because I am running out of ideas, people, rapidly. That is my biggest pain point, is that my team just don't interact, and I don't know where I'm going wrong, to be honest with you, because I've literally each and every single month I have tried something different.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much the same people who interact, and then the rest of them are just like, yeah, exist. Are you there? And I do. I touch base with them, I chat with them, I find out what's happening in their family. So I know exactly where everybody is. But I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm like,
Can I maybe
Yes,
answer
go ahead.
that for you? So just take a little, you say you've got how many consultants? 5 out of 45.
I've got 54 in total, and I've got 5 at the moment
That showed life.
who. Oh, and please note that the people that are to that.
Okay. So I think my very quick thing that I want to say, because there's obviously a lot of things we can do. I think the very most important thing is to always remember that it's a numbers game. Because if I can quickly look at this, we have got 145 team leaders, of which 27 are here today. So if you write those 5 out of 54 and 27 out of 145, you might see some comparison on that. So I think
It's
that
supposed
is
to make me feel better.
Yes, I was
It's
going
not-
to say
I'm
before
trying
Corné
that.
said, we're going to tell you something that is going to not make you feel better, but once it sinks in, once the penny drops, you will totally understand the business that you're in.
I understand where she's coming from,
Yeah.
but I'm exceptionally frustrated, and I think that's where the problem comes in. I actually feel like saying to them, can you all just bugger off? I'm going to go find myself a new team.
And there's the answer. There's your answer exactly. And that's the sad reality, is because recruitment is
Thank
never
you.
ending in our business.
Yeah.
You've got to recruit at the pace that you would want to sell. And because, it's a reason, a season, a time, a lifetime. Honey has served different purposes for us, even as leaders in the business. There's times we've really had our foot on the gas and we've gone absolutely every weekend was a client day, a pop-up, a something, and even though it doesn't have to look like that anymore, we were a lot more active. We were a lot more visible. I don't care what anybody says. You cannot trade in person and connection for virtual. So your social media is an add-on to who you are in real life. And so Feroza said it earlier, I know what I need to do. I need to get out of my office. And I think I said this a month and a half ago as well. And I still told the story about I was going to make recruitment my mission, and I was going to start with the lady at the coffee shop. Vrachtig, I went and got my coffee. I didn't talk to the lady. I had to retrain my brain to start recruiting where I went again. I'd stopped talking about my opportunity. I'd stopped living my opportunity like I used to. I stopped getting all dressed up because it was easier just to go in my yoga tights. Well, guess what? They weren't honey. So I had nothing to show for the brand that I had. And that's just your biggest sales will always come from a team that is ever growing. And one day that consultant that you messaged 10 times and asked, she's going to pop up and say, oh, I saw this on promotion. And you're going to want to say, well, glad you're not dead. But instead, you'll just say, thank you very much for your audits on the portal. You may not pay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not a common sense thing. It's not something that's going to alleviate your frustration. What I can guarantee you, it is something we all struggle with. I don't think there is anyone on this group that can't say that inactivity, not lack of numbers. You've got the numbers, you've got the people. It's what they're doing with what they get. And
Yeah.
I think you have to be cognizant of the fact that we are in information overload. Additional to that, we are in Q4 of what has been one heck of a year. And so people are tired, people are trying to just swim to shore, whatever their shore looks like, and they're forgetting the reason and the season. When it comes around to them, they'll show up. But again, it's a business where people do what they need to do when they need to do it. So that's why we have to consistently. Recruitment is a goal every month, like your sales target. Sometimes we just don't focus on it, but when we do, new blood is new sales is new earnings, and that's just the way that it goes.
Now
Corné,
that you
anything
say
else
that,
on that? But thank you, Nicole. I think it's about addressing those things. And I think sometimes, no, it doesn't make you feel better, but best believe, I promise you, ask anyone here. We all feel this.
like you say that, the 2 people that are actually on my group who actually have commented or used the poll are my actually 2 new recruits that I got in August and September. So in a sense, yes, it is very much so. Yeah, it's just a matter of
Yeah.
upping
And I
my
think if you
goals.
go back to your, last week when we did Know Your Numbers, and thank you everyone for the feedback. It was definitely, I think, one of the more practical tools sessions because a lot of people have come back and said, it's really helped to reframe it. But in tracking those interactions and in tracking where you're putting your energy, you'll also see what's working for your business. Those that have been part of we forget we've always had a buyers club on our network. Every single one of us have got consultants that are buying for themselves, and it's great. That's fine. I'd rather have you on there and you buy your collagen from me than from anywhere else. But then again, it's about reminding who are the people we put our energy into. And when you track those people, especially on that first 7 days of onboarding, you start to develop these high performers that understand that they're here for a reason and they see the reason instantly because they earn in the first month that they've joined. So build onto that energy. No more pushing and pulling, more attracting. And more attracting the right people and attracting the right message and the energy. It sucks because you're thinking, I've got a team while I need to do this, but it's about bringing in that new energy. And slowly but surely, everyone catches on. When the incentives get bigger because you're earning more, people are like, whoo, should maybe put some focus onto this honey business thing. And so we're just building. We are in the season of building, and that's just where we're at.
And can I maybe add to that? I think that is
Please.
important, the incentive part. So I want to touch on the incentives. We tend to place a small incentive and then we attract only small sales. What if we were dare to put out a bigger incentive as if you expected a 300,000 rand turnover again and actually attract a free handbag to your sales consultant? When we did those incentives where we like pick your handbag. I mean, I used to do that. Pick your handbag and you pick your handbag and then I'll give you your target. So everybody had but this is just what I'm thinking. We are doing small little incentives. Maybe we should do a bigger incentive because, I think of my husband when he goes fishing. He always says the bigger the bait, the bigger the fish. Maybe our own mindset, because, I still see to it that Team Destiny gets an incentive. And that really crossed my mind when I overlooked at the incentive that went out. I wondered to myself, shouldn't we push the sales level a little bit? And then I want to go forward and say, yesterday I sat around a table of people that I thought would not buy my product. And then obviously my friend was very excited to say, my friend is doing this honey thing. And I was like, oh my word. And here's these distinguished people around the table, all super excited that they now know the honey girl. And the only thing they've asked me about 10 times around the table is, when will you host a party for us? And I actually sat there and I felt ashamed for the fact that I would have not offered them.
Yeah.
If I had a catalog in my handbag at that, I would have most probably not even taken a catalog to this event if I had a catalog. Because I have prejudged in my mind that these are all doctors and their wives, and some of them are doctors and their husbands, and they don't buy honey. And there they were so excited that they can now buy honey from somebody they didn't even know I was in their town.
Age-old story. We
Age-old.
forget to tell our families what we do, and we forget to tell the people closest to us that can help us. And I don't know why we do it. And that was my example as well. Go to a bra and you don't want to tell anyone what you've done because you're tired. Well, the other lady wasn't tired. And guess what? She probably walked away with the biggest order she ever had because they bought. And I think that goes back into, we finding comfort in our offices. We're finding comfort in virtual. Great place. It adds so much value to a certain point when we are out there and connecting and building. I mean, I remember the most powerful cup of coffee sessions I had. I had the craziest road trips. Monet can attest to this. We definitely had a lot of laughter and fun, but we always left those things with more strategy and more energy. And I think, again, I myself I'm very guilty of it, purely by choice and being a little bit strategic in what I've had to be doing, managing multiple clients. But I need to be the face of my honey business. That was my success. That was where my team felt confident to be successful as well. And I think we need to just step back into that power. I love the idea, and I feel so silly for not going back to it myself, of the pick what you want from the catalog, even if it's not a handbag. Maybe one of your consultants absolutely wants shoes. Maybe she just wants her collagen supply. It gives you, number one, a reason to connect one-on-one. It gives you, number two, a tangible thing you can put in front of them that they actually want. Because that's also the danger with incentives. If we run a blanket approach, it doesn't motivate and inspire everyone unless it is something big. In some of those big months, I remember giving away an air fryer. And it wasn't when they were as affordable as they are now. I mean, those air fryers were what, 2.5 grand? Did I know I was going to get to that sales level? No. Did I hope and pray? Yeah, but more than that, I worked and I took risks, and the bigger risks came. And so we need to look at what we're going to do, even if you combine in October and in November, give people time to work it out. But again, don't launch it at the beginning of the month and not drive it every single time. Okay, so
Hi,
what?
Karen.
Yes, Renee.
Yeah. I've made a short list of my pains and frustrations.
Oh,
It's
please,
not
that would be
in any
great.
particular order.
No, you go. Do you want
Um,
me to bring the slide back up again, or are you comfortable?
I'm
Okay,
fine, thanks.
cool.
Thank you for this meeting, because the last time, as you said at the beginning, that we had the chance to bring up the things that do cause pain was before Corné took over. She asked us to make a list. First of all, my variable is a pain because it's like a fraction of what it can be and used to be. And then I think, and we've talked about this a lot, is new stock. And I know that Corné and Candice went overseas and they bought stock and it is on its way. I'm sure as soon as that the first new stock has landed, that things will get better. My next one is the portal. All the reports that do not upload. I know in the past it was the day after dispatch, you get your total sales report, as well as the PTL report. Now that is not updated anymore. Even the daily sales report does not upload. I don't know if it's only mine, and I also don't know if it is due to the fact that Adele has been preoccupied with her brother. I want to know if Adele is the only person that is responsible for the portal, or is there a backup for her? And then the app, all the no stocks. I go on the app a couple of times a day, and I want to go from the top to the bottom to see which items are available, but I have to scroll really long to get to the first item that is actually still available. And then my last one, if we can get a final EE qualification criteria. That's it.
Okay. Let me answer you, Renette. It looks like you've
Okay.
got a diary hit list with you. Okay. Let me tell you that.
Thank you for the preparation.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm so glad I prepared last week for this.
Okay.
So let me work it back from behind.
Yeah.
Renette, let me jump wherever I want to go. I mean, I can do that. So can I
Yeah.
just congratulate you, Renette, on appointing your EE? All right?
Thank you. Yes.
In
Yes.
your request last month, when my documentation contradicted each other, it
Yeah.
caused me to go on to a realization that I didn't even know what documents are available for EE qualifications. So Nicole helped me to work on it. And we actually cleaned it up to such a point where I believe this week we will be able to send it out. So
Okay.
your application has caused a whole whirlwind of fixing ridiculous mistakes. I'm just going to put it out there.
Yeah.
So EE is now one single document with everything, and it speaks the same language thanks to Nicole's eagle eye.
Okay.
The app No Stock is something that I've got on my agenda,
Yep.
which I'm meeting with the IT people at some time whenever they are available, and as well as the portal reports.
Okay.
What is the problem is we're working with an old system that is just not updating as soon as it can. So what Adele has to do is she has to go in every time when the reports are updated and go and see if they all ran. Okay.
Oh,
In your
yeah.
question, and then she will pick up, and Renette, I'm with you, because remember, I'm on R, ne? So mine would
Yeah.
very easily not have updated. So it seems like it does that. It starts updating from A, and somewhere here by the bottom of the alphabet, it like runs out of steam. So
Okay.
frustrated about that and aware of it. Come back to the
Okay.
Adele question. Her brother did pass away. The funeral
Yeah.
is on Thursday. She is at the office and she is doing whatever she can to catch up on the lag. Yes, unfortunately, that is a big problem. And Adele is the only person at this stage that knows how to do certain things because we cannot have everybody scratch around in a database or in a system that we need to protect. We are, however, now in the process of setting up a system where we can have a little bit of functionality outside of Adele. So she is teaching a selected member on how to access emergency things so that we are not
Okay.
just held on one place. Because remember, in the past, there were 3 people who could pick up for each other, and now that load all came
Mm.
down to 1 person. New stock, I'm going to address that. And I might start crying because I've cried a lot today.
Okay.
For me, this was the longest wait.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was the longest wait. And I know that in June, when I asked you guys to take my hand, I didn't know how difficult it's going to be. And I want to say to you, I'm sorry. Because it is hard. And I see your variable diminish. But today, when those lunch bags arrived, I just knew
This is the
No.
new beginning now.
it's a new beginning.
Yeah.
And I do feel you. I feel each and every one of you. I didn't know, and I think you also didn't know how hard this was going to be. So for me today, I'll tell you, when that truck pulled up there, I just started crying, and I honestly have just
Yeah.
been crying ever since because it's difficult. It's so difficult.
Yeah.
And I want to acknowledge that. There's nothing more I can do to that, but just acknowledge for the fact that I know exactly how difficult it is. And I feel it. I feel it so tremendously because most of you are so brave and you don't load your frustration onto me. You could have, and you didn't. But I feel you. I really honestly feel you.
That's good news. Now we're going forward.
These are the last of the old tears because I will say today, you must know that although we lead from the front, Corné and I both sent a message and said, did we really move the session? Because it's been a long day. I said, I've just finished crying. She said, okay, then I'll start now and you can stop. Because I think that's what it is. I think whatever the pain you feel, I promise you, I don't want to say we feel it tenfold, but when you've made provision and you've made plans and they can't go any faster, this is worse than being a kid waiting for Christmas. If you only ever got one gift a year, it's the worst. I don't care how bad that kid felt. It's not like this. This is adult bad and it's bad.
Yeah,
But I think that's it.
what is the frustrating part of this is that the system or the process just takes so much detail. So this morning, so the images are created, the photographs are done. The stock arrived this afternoon, like in the afternoon. Now we're waiting for the freight company to send the final invoice so that we can do the final costing. It is just like I want to get onto the phone and jump on somebody's liver and say to them, can you not have coffee and a cigarette right now? I want my invoice.
Yeah.
But it is just so frustrating because for me, it feels like it's so easy. We should have just popped the picture onto WhatsApp and it should have been just there. But it's not. And I think that it's a frustration that mostly brought me to tears today because it should have been just so much easier.
That's why we can't be presidents, because we'll try and control every little part.
Yeah.
But Renee, thank you. That was a very detailed list, and this was the type of planning we needed to address. So I think Corné did answer all of your questions. I think it's always nice to get confirmation when we're tackling a task and it comes up. It's to say we actually are on it. And again, so much work happens behind the scenes, but if we don't know everything and every detail, we can't prioritize. So thank you for that. Lots of lovely comments in the chat and for the complex processes, we are almost there. And so we're still holding hands, we're still on a journey, and we still just need to do our own little parts. We're going to get there. And then, like we always have, we'll have a moment to laugh or cry about these sessions and say, remember when, because that's just all part of the journey. In the chat box, Arminda wanted to chat next. I don't know if she is still on the group because she said she was having some speaker issues. So Arminda, are you there? I don't know if you connected on the other laptop yet.
I am. Can you hear
There
me
we
now?
go. Yes, perfect.
Oh, sorry, I just changed to the laptop because
All good. Can hear and see you perfectly.
Yeah, so I did prepare a few things here, so let's just hope it's going to be said in the correct way.
That's okay.
So yeah, I actually want to say that I feel for everybody. I think everybody's feeling the same way. There is a frustration that's going on, and everybody is just saying that everybody's pinching their pennies and they're thinking about where to spend. But I just want to say that this month, I think with vibe, and I think that I posted a voice in the family group the other day about what I was doing this month. And I must say that has really created a bit of excitement on myself as well. I've noticed that every single morning it has created a little bit of extra work for me, but it's fine because it is creating that excitement in the group. So every day I send out the Excel screenshot to show how many points, how many items they have already sold, how many have been paid for. And that's actually quite exciting. And some of them actually get back to me and say, but listen, yeah, I've paid my order and you're telling me that I haven't paid for it. So I said, okay, fine, we're going to correct it right away now. And as soon as they've placed an order, we get back to them and we send a private message to say, have you done your, you've already done 2 items. Another one is actually already done 6 items, and out of the 6, 4 of them are already sold. And we're not talking about a 250 Rand item. We are talking about 250 plus. So I found that way was actually quite exciting this month to do it that way, instead of working on a unit amount, to actually work on an item amount. There was somebody who placed an order for 3 Miracle Bees, and because she placed it as an order of 3, and she paid for it like couple of days, I actually sent her a message and said, I'm going to just tell you that I'm going to count this as 1 unit, as 1 item, because you did fantastic. And now that's kept the excitement going. So, and also I can hear from a lot of us as team leaders, that's one thing that I've always taught my team, is that we are team leaders and we've got elite entrepreneurs. And sometimes I get upset more with the elite entrepreneurs and the butterflies when they don't communicate with us, because they are leaders. They are supposed to be communicating. They are supposed to be reporting back and doing what they're supposed to be doing, but they don't. But when it comes to sales consultants, I don't look at them in the same manner, because I look at them as clients, because half of them, as you mentioned, Taryn, they're only buying for themselves. I actually can spot those that do that, and those are the ones that I'm really targeting this month. When they place an order for a bag and shoes, I know they're placing the order for themselves. So I say, well, you've already done two items. Do you know what the incentive is this month? You just need to do another 8 and you can get a ticket into the draw. So that's the kind of momentum we want to do. Because at the end of the day, yes, I over 300 people, 3 consultants in my WhatsApp group. But in that group, I must say that not all of them respond. Not all of them respond on the poll. Not all of them, place orders. But one thing that I was always taught when I was even doing network marketing, they said that you are going to talk to 100 people. Out of the 100 people that you talk to, 20 of them are going to register. Out of the 20 that you register, only 3 are going to do what you do. And that's what you've got to keep in mind. You're only going to have 3 that are going to sell like you, that are going to lead like you, that are going to do what you do. So we've just got to keep going with those consultants that only give you 1 order, that only buy 1, jewelry cleaner, because that 25 Rand or that 50 Rand or that 129 Rand that they've made a sale is going to add to the end results of that month. So let's not get frustrated about all those little nicky knackies. Work with what you have, and then in the same run, you want to actually try and see if you can add more people into that group and get your team involved. Get them to actually also get them going. So I must say that that's really been exciting for me today. We have been having some great days, exciting days. So today it has been one of those days. It has been a quiet day. So, but I know this week it's not going to end like that because we've got some new products that are coming through. So that's going to create the excitement. It's going to get things back on the road again. And I found what was very interesting. I'm going to say thank you to Claire, although she's not here today. She is back home from the hospital, but she's going to go back in again on Friday for another test. And she apologizes for not being here this evening. But I just wanted to say she actually posted a picture of a picture with a couple of bees on it. And she just posted it as a fun thing for her group, how many bees are on the picture. So everybody said, 10, 12, 13, whatever the case is. And then privately I sent a message. I said, I think I'm counting 14. But go and check again, and of course we forgot to realize that there's actually one bee hiding behind another bee, So, and then I also thought I'll share it with my group as well. So we actually did it on my group as well as a fun task. And it's amazing. It was consultants who are practically dead. What I mean by dead is they don't say anything. They don't do anything. But participating in this little fun game. And so that's what I found quite interesting, So sometimes we need to create that little bit of fun in the group, add that little bit of fun because that's what's going to help us to just get it going as well. So what else would I wanted to say about support needs? Yeah, those trackers were really great. So I find, the tracking system seems to be working quite well. Have I said everything? There's probably something that I haven't said, but yeah. And I must say that also with the Payflex, I actually did a separate training for the Payflex for the consultants only, because the video did explain quite a bit, but I did just for the sales consultants. And then after that, there was still some who I actually had to interact on a personal level. So sometimes we as leaders need to understand what is happening so that we can actually be able to explain it to the consultants. Because I must say, I've used that thing, you don't know how many times, and my credit rating is going higher and higher. It's actually a very bad temptation because I think I'm on the verge of almost buying the whole catalog when it comes out, Honey Woman, the one in just, So a great tool. I hope all the team leaders are making use of it because we want our consultants to use it more and more because it's going to mean more cash in our pockets and more sales. And yes, my future vision is to get back to 100K. I've been battling with it for the last 2 months, and it really hasn't been helping my pocket at the end of the month to put more fuel in my car and to pay for the rent and to pay for what needs to be done. So yeah, we probably are eating more bread and water lately, but we're making it happen. And we're just going to keep going as much as we possibly can to get back to 100K.
Awesome. Aminda, thank you. That was just an absolute mouthful of wisdom. And also thank you so much for always taking the time to share the things you do. One of the biggest tools that made a huge difference was that fragrance one that you broke down. I think it was easily almost a month ago. I don't know where the time's going. And I just want to say thank you. You're always sharing, you're always collaborating, always giving good ideas. There's many of us, and that's what the family group is about. Let's spend more time adding value there than asking for SO numbers in stock because we need it. We need it. We need the spark. Lots of people have taken some notes from you. I think lots of people also missed your voice notes on your planning, and I'm sure they'd love it if maybe tomorrow morning as part of the morning motivation, just send a reminder, this is what we spoke about. Sometimes it just catches us at the wrong time. But I think, yeah, some great nuggets and tools there also for me to add onto some training. And just thank you for always handling it all with such positivity and really keeping us on our toes as to what we can do. I think that's just always the refreshing reminder. There's lots to still do. Even if we feel like we've done it, we've got to just find new ways. We always say the fun, it's experience. We are creating an experience in this business, and experience is not only linked to sales. So have your little how many bees are there. Have your favorite products of the day. That's what the call to action calendars to the family group are there. They're there to inspire you to create some fun in your teams as well. So thank you for getting behind that. Corné, anything you want to add on that?
I think I'm just making a personal note here, but Amanda, I just want to say to you, even in KZN, we had some feedback on your Payflex little video. So thank you for that. It really help people to really understand that. And it became a valuable tool for us. So thank you for that. And yeah, I think just the note that I wrote down here is how much fun is it to be in your team? Because that's what our business has always been about. It's how we attracted them. It's the fun and it's the community that makes it different. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
And it's generally when we are having fun that people are having fun. So if we're not having fun and we're faking it, don't worry, our teams can feel it. So let's get back
this
to
is what I wanted to
everyone.
say. I knew there was something I wanted to say now, and
There
then
you go.
I couldn't remember. I was still in free fall mode. Okay. So what we have done today is we have looked at items that we can add to the current promotions to really push the price. Okay. So you will see them in between those get the looks. So we're going to increase the get the looks. And inside the get looks, you'll get some items that is really, and in some instances, way below what we paid for them. We have decided to keep them as part of a cohesive look. Yeah, but that is what so you will start seeing that from about tomorrow coming out, and there was a huge list. It was, to be honest with you, 5.2 million rands worth of retail. That is now after we slashed it. It will still be 5.2 million in retail that we have now said this we can take and we can chop it. So look for those little nuggets in between the get the looks. Okay.
Awesome. So in other words, last time to not be on your phone was today. Tomorrow, stay connected.
Corné, I also just wanted to mention, because something that I find sometimes a bit of a situation is to try and have an incentive every single month that's exciting and that it's affordable. Because at the moment now, to actually get something that is affordable for everybody because their pockets are tight. And also, because of the pockets being tight, I've been selling most of my stock that's in my office, so I don't even have that to put out as an incentive. So it becomes a bit of a situation. So is there any stock, excessive stock that Honey head office does have that they could, like they did with those legacy bags, that they could offer to the team leaders that we could use as incentives, even if it's just one bag, that we could put it out as a draw? If you do 2,500 rand worth of sales, your name goes into the draw for the bag or something like that.
Let me go and ask tomorrow. Let me go and ask, because the first thing is what I ask is what is stock holding and what do we have? And let me see if we can come up with something from there. I will go and ask.
That'll be great. Thanks.
Thank you.
Awesome idea. I'm sure we can come up with something. And also a good refresher to have in our new month planning. I think we can always revisit incentives. If I think about me, it took me probably 2 years to grasp how to cost an incentive correctly. And you learn very quickly when you've overshot the mark, and then you never do that again. So let me help you learn the nicer way, not the way that I learned. Okay, thank you so much, Arminda. All right, we've got about 10 minutes left of the session. If anybody else would like to take a stab at putting across their thoughts, their visions, their plans, any further comments maybe on anything that's already been said, that's also more than welcome. But I hope that even if you haven't spoken up, I hope you have found some value in tonight's session. We definitely will include more of these as and when we need to, between the planning, between the training. There's an equal amount of time due for all of these things. And again, if it is something you need to discuss, phone calls also work from all provinces across all of the towns. You don't have to wait for a platform to discuss what you need to. Just always know that no matter how difficult it is, no matter if your voice shakes or you also get teary, as you can see, we are people leading people. And the more we can people, the better we'll be with our people. Doesn't look like we've got anybody else who wants to say anything. Corné, I don't know if you can. Wait, who's me? Who's me? Yes, Roberta, of course you can.
Yes, I'd just like to firstly say that some of the issues have been mentioned by the previous ladies who spoke, which is great. Thank you very much. What I'd like to suggest is the new people, like your new recruits for August and September and for October so far, to take those new people and challenge them separately to the rest of your team. So put in something, in an incentive, something small, something affordable, just for the new people, and say to them, you are new in the team, you're with so and so and so and so and so and so. I challenge you for this month of October to do at least 1,000 Rand or 1,500 Rand, but just for them, apart from your own big honey group. The other thing I'd like to say is that as far as incentives are concerned, I will never forget the most successful incentive I had was maybe 2 years clothing, and they had these slip slops, the beach slops. You could buy two pairs for 55 Rand. Well, I went home and I did a slide, a PowerPoint slide with flops on it, and I said, send me your size. What size shoe do you take? And I don't know how many girls that I haven't heard from for a long time said size 8, size 6, size 7, whatever. Then I said, right, do 2,500 Rand and you'll get a pair of flip-flops. It was the best incentive. The feedback I got for those flip-flops, I still wear them. I love the color. I love the pattern. Thank you so much. I've never had so much good feedback from any incentive, whether it cost you 300, 400, 500 Rand. Those 2 pairs for 55 Rand was the best incentive I ever gave. I think it's perceived value. It's something that they would use and something they would like and something that most of them can reach. So it's for me, it's not always about the cost. It's not always a high cost value item. It's something that you would actually like for yourself, that you would use, that is affordable. So it's not, I'm giving you an incentive to the value of 500 Rand. I am giving you incentive, do this for me, and it's perceived value. And I've always learned that all my whole life in direct selling. It's perceived value. And those flip-flops, for me, for my team, was the best ever. So that's my bit. Thanks.
Flip-flopping all the way to variable.
I remember those flip-flops because I still sat in that meeting when you shared that and I thought, oh man, no fat chance. And then I thought, I'm going to try it. And it worked for me too. At that stage, Pick n Pay Clothing ran them with the 2 for 55 Rand. And they had every color and shape and fruit that is available on it. Again, fun in your business.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Roberta. That's, again, it just made me smile to think of the endless possibility. And perceived value is a huge thing. I think you go back to an incentive that you achieved when you were just a consultant or you were an elite entrepreneur or even somebody's butterfly. You just had to mention something target, that was your gift. And I still, to this day, my entire kitchen is kitted out from all the gifts I got. Not specifically from head office, but through working my business and achieving my targets. And that's the legacy that we create and we live by. But that's a lot of fun. That is a lot of fun. And that's it.
May I say something?
You can. May I say? There we go, Steph. Yes, you can.
Yes. Just to add on the flip-flops. But I did many years ago, I did the charts. You remember we did charts but I started with, say, for instance, if you did 500 Rand for the month, you got only one shoe. You have to do 1,000 or you have to do the next one to get the pair. And then I add on like a hat or a towel or a whatever. So to build the whole
beach collection almost.
Beach collection for them. And that was also, yes, and I did previously, okay, now it's not, but load shedding, I started with a box of matches, then a candle, and then I build it up. So that was also, say, for incentives, and it's not so costly.
Yeah, and that's why South Africans are preferred across the world because we are resilient, but also very innovative. That is amazing.
Yes, but that's what I did previously. And
I think, when you get to know your teams, that's just it. For the people that haven't been engaged, something quick, something funky, something fun. For the people that are building businesses, is build that set. Give them the option to, just as you'd build your honey travel set and the things that you want, that's exactly it. So thank you for sharing. I think that's awesome.
Yes.
Alminda just said one more thing. She just said she's tried something else today on a Google question form. So she's obviously getting feedback from her team. And she said it's gone out today. She'll see how it goes and she'll let us know what questions come up. So I think that's awesome. Thank you.
I think
Right.
I want to add in here is even though our hour is now over and you might have think that you did not have a chance, look out for a honey staff member to call you because we are doing a little bit of a call. And I'm not saying everybody is going to get a call, but we have picked a little list to make sure that we start calling some people. And then when that person or when that staff member calls you, you know what? We're going to ask you, what is it that you need help with? How can we help you? And those kind of things. And everything we do at this stage is geared towards you, whether it is on how to figure out how to activate a recruit, whether it is to where to place the training videos in the best possible way. Please, and you know what, if you've got an idea, please remember, I'm only a WhatsApp away. That's if my WhatsApp works. So currently, the other part of my frustration, which might be 90% of my tears today, is the fact that the only thing that my telephone can do at this stage is take a call. My Wi-Fi receiver broke after we came back from Hong Kong, so I couldn't get Wi-Fi. So I know exactly what data costs. It is expensive. Okay, I got that off my chest. And then yesterday, the data thing changes. I don't know. I have data, but it's like the phone can't use it. So right now I've got a telephone and a calculator. Oh, I can use that as well. So I can only access my WhatsApp from my laptop, which means I can listen to your voice note. That's no problem. So if I'm a little bit slow, but please do not forget that I do exist. If you've got an idea, if you've got a plan, if you need a check-in, please reach out to us.
Absolutely. And then Antoinette, it will be a landline. So just keep a lookout. If you miss it, I'm sure they'll leave a message. But I think that brings us to the end of our open discussion. Doesn't mean it's the end of anything you need to chat about. As Corné said, some of us have WhatsApp for now. Who knows? It might be my turn next. But thank you for your time. Thank you for everyone who has shared, for everyone who stands in the same agreements. And just know this is where we go to from here. It's going to be an exciting week. I hope you have a blessed rest of your evening. I hope you're ready for the energy and the excitement. And I can't wait to see how many flip-flops Pick n Pay runs out of because I'm going for this idea. I never did it, so I'm trying it now. I'm just going to tell you right now. And I think the one shoe thing's a brilliant concept. Mean, but it sounds like it worked. No, from my side, look after yourselves and we'll chat again soon. Have a great evening, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.